Everyone, and welcome to your February Focus Books training session. So I have got a variety of books to show you today, and the first one is from the Who, I don't know if it's called the Who's on there, but there are multiple books in this series, and this is Who's on the Farm today. I think this series is fab, and I think it is great for hand selling because of the shape of it. It's really different, it's unusual, and I think it's quite eye-catching. They're $6.99, which I think is phenomenal value, and because you've got the tabs, I think they're very appealing to small children. And also really easy for them to use to turn the pages themselves. And when I've been at an event where a tiny child has been allowed to choose the book they want, quite often it is one in this series. I love that you can see all the little animals there as well. So you've got the question about who's on the farm today, and the children can spot all the different animals on the farm. And now it's asking you, who is the curious animal with the white fluffy coat? Oh, it's the sheep, and then you go into the story about that, and then you've got to guess the next animal, and you get the clues of the muddy animal with the pink ears. Then you've got the piglet, then you've got the cow, and then you finish off with the prancing pony. I think it's incredible value. I think it's lovely to explore together with a parent and child. I think they're great for building children's vocabulary and learning animal names, great for spotting things on the pages. And I just think that's super, super appealing to small children. So if this isn't a series that you're selling yet, then I would give it a go. Next up, similar age range, is Spot and Say Bugs. Actually, I'd say this is a bit older. So again, this is part of an existing series. So you've got a central character there that's looking for their friend, and the idea is that children have to lift all the flaps on the pages to try and find the friend. So you lift the flap and you've got an animal under there. And it gives you kind of some animal characteristics. So like Billy can't jump like that because that's a grasshopper, Billy's a beetle. You've got a wiggly worm, so you've got some nice adjectives as well to build children's vocabulary. You've got the bee. What else have you got? You've got a rose chafer. Have never heard of a rose chafer. So there's quite a lot of unusual animals as well, which I think is quite nice. Lots of lovely adjectives to explore and different animal habitats. Then you go to the pond, you look in and amongst the pond, you look around the rainforest, then you are going to the long grasses, you've got the jungle plants, you've got the desert, you have got, oh, it looks like a bug hotel. And then eventually you find Billy on this page. And then at the back of the book, it tells you all the different animals that you've met throughout the book, which I think is fab. And again, great for children to learn different animals. To be honest, I did not know the names of half of these. Great to then go back and try and find these animals again in the book. So I think there's hours of enjoyment with this book. Great for vocabulary building. Kids love flaps, don't they? Because it's just a lot more engaging and interactive to read with them when you've got the flaps. Because I find with a lot of the books and the other publishers do as well that I've had for my kids, it's a similar concept of learning all the animal names, and you get the names of the animals on the bottom and then you're trying to spot them in the picture. But I think this is just a lot more engaging, having the flaps to lift and investigate. This is $9.99, so it is, I'd say, on the pricier end, but I think there's hours of enjoyment from this book. Then we have got a little sticker dolly dressing book. So this one is fairy tales. I think this is going to be really, really popular for you guys. My friend's daughter is 4 and she is obsessed with anything like this. You've got all the kind of classic fairy tales that you would expect, really, like Goldilocks. You've got Beauty and the Beast, Cinderella, you've got Rapunzel, Snow White, The Little Mermaids. It's kind of like everything you would want in a sticker book, and it gives you the plot of the fairy tale in a couple of sentences, and then you've got all the beautiful stickers to dress the characters of the fairy tale in. So I think it's joyous. I think these are such good value at $5.99, and I think this is going to go really well for you at your events. Next up is a new book in the Write Your Own series. which again I think is fab. So this is Write Your Own Family History. I think my 7-year-old would really enjoy this. So you have got a contents page which goes through all the different sections for you to fill in, but the idea is that you play detective and you talk to members of your family to find out your own family history. The first section is all about you, which I think is lovely, to write all the things about you, who you live with, what makes a family, more about families. It's super inclusive, so there's all different types of family that are included. And again, it kind of normalizes children. All children will come from different families, so you can tick the different family members you have. You can stick pictures in or draw pictures of your family members. There's lots of helpful tips about building a story, where to go to find out information, who you're going to talk to, and then you can start filling in the family history of your very own family in this writing book, which you can then keep forever, which I just think is gorgeous. Such a lovely memento, and it would be amazing for your children's children to look back on what they've done and the family history that they have written and created. And there's everything from kind of the sport that family members enjoyed, to the pets that they had, to the family recipes that are being handed down, to the games and toys that they played with when they were younger, to what school was like. I just think it's incredible. It's £12.99, so again, it's kind of one of our pricier books. It's ring bound, it's lovely quality. I think this would do really well at school book fairs. I think that would be probably the main sales channel for this one. But yeah, I think my 7-year-old daughter, she's in year 2. I think she'd absolutely love filling this in, and I might challenge her to do so. And it's great because they can just do it in their own time. It's not blank paper, it's not overwhelming, because it's this amazing special write-in book. So that is Write Your Own Family History. Then we have got a new title in the 24 Hours series. We have had so many requests for more historical 24 Hours, so they have brought them out. There are more historical ones to come, but this is 24 Hours with the Vikings. Again, I feel like this is one that will do really well at school book fairs. And actually, I don't think I've ever been to an event where someone hasn't sold a 24 Hours book. They have gone up slightly in price. I think they used to be £7.99. This is £8.99. But to be honest, it always struck me as a book that should be £9.99. So I don't think that will make a lot of difference to you. You have got amazing illustrations throughout. You've got a contents page. You've got some quick links. So this is set in Norway in the summer of 1880, and you are following in the footsteps of the characters for 24 hours in the Viking world. You've got amazing comic strip style illustrations. You have full fact pages as well, about the kind of history of the Vikings. You've got Viking weapons. You've got the different kind of jobs they did, how they told the time, the kind of religion, the beliefs, the sorcery, the longships. Absolutely packed full of facts and information. You've got an index at the back. You've got a glossary of terms. And I think for any child that is a more reluctant reader, these books are really good for them. Obviously, for kids that are fascinated by history, it's going to be perfect. Or for kids that say they're interested in books like Dogman or Bunny versus Monkey, this is that same vibe. Or kids that tell you they're into graphic novels. So I find kids that say they're into graphic novels, obviously they like the graphic novels. This is the other series they tend to go for. And I think it's a parent pleaser as well, because you're giving the child the comic strip style narrative they want, but it's packed full of facts and history and information. And I think this is one of the best series that we do. The final book I've got to share with you is this one. This is Always Angel. So this is by Kimberly Whittam, who wrote Quiet Storm. So this book is about a girl called Angel. She's in year, I want to say 8. Yes, she's in year 8. At school, and she has an incredibly difficult home life. So we meet her. She's living with foster carers, and it's not the first set of foster carers she's had. Her mum has bipolar, and is unable to look after her, which is why she's in foster care. She does speak to her mum on a weekly video call, but she feels incredibly responsible for the fact that she feels like if she'd looked after her mum better, then her mum wouldn't have ended up so unwell and unable to look after her. She really struggles at school, so she missed quite a lot of school because of what happened with her mum. So her life looked one way in year 6. Her friends from year 6 went to a different secondary school from her. Her kind of life imploded with her mum, and she's struggling to fit in at her secondary school. So we meet her as she's in year 8. She's missed a lot of school. She's moved to a different form group, and she's just desperate to be liked. She has outbursts because she's just struggling to deal with what's going on with herself, and she falls in with the wrong crowd at school, with a girl called Tiana, who is incredibly unkind and says that she wants to be Angel's friend, but she doesn't do any of the things that a friend would do. The one thing Angel discovers she does like doing is baking. And there's a baking competition at school, and the winner of the baking competition gets an afternoon tea for 2 at her favourite bakery. She's always wanted to go there with her mum, so she believes that if she wins this baking competition, then everything will be okay again. She can go to the afternoon tea with her mum and everything will be fine again. Obviously, there's lots of twists and turns along the way, and you do get a real insight into her behaviour and why she's acting the way she's acting. She is kind and she is good at heart, and a lot of the time her outbursts are to defend other children, even if they don't necessarily want to be defended. There's some kind of other stories. So one of the girls that's involved with the baking competition lives with her grandmother, who is, I think she might have MS. She's becoming increasingly frail. So they've kind of got that connection, but they clash quite a bit. There's a boy who's struggling with eczema and the way he looks. And you kind of feel like everyone has got something that maybe makes their life harder than it should be. She has a lot of empathy for other characters. It's very raw, it's very real. There's a lot to do with her relationship with her mum, her relationship with the teachers at school that are trying to help her. You've got this lovely thread about baking and which is like the light throughout all the darkness. You've got some great themes about friendship and her ultimately learning about what being a friend means. You've got a nice bit about her kind of being part of not a school play, but like a class performance, because you learn that she actually used to love drama when she was at primary school. There's a bit about her relationship with her uncle in there. There's a very brief mention of her dad that she doesn't have a relationship with in there. And I think it's just a brilliant read for kids, maybe like 5, 6, 7, and 8, I think would really enjoy this. There's nothing in it that I would say like you wouldn't necessarily want a younger child reading, but obviously there are the issues of the fact she lives with foster carers, the fact that her mum has bipolar, and this kind of intense feeling of guilt that she has. I think Kimberly Whittam is a phenomenal author. It is really easy read, so reluctant readers I think would really enjoy this, and it would be great for them too. She's like a Tamsin Winter, but I would say slightly cleaner than Tamsin Winter. Like, I think her books can be read by children that are slightly younger, but equally I think they age up really well. Like a year 9, 10 child I think would enjoy this as well. So it is very much in that like Tamsin Winter, Sarah Hagerholt, Radhika Sanghani kind of like vein. And yeah, I think she's a phenomenal writer. Quiet Storm was amazing. I would say, if anything, this is almost better than Quiet Storm. If you run an adult book club, I also think this would be a great read for that as well, because I think it gives you such a good insight into the mind of a 12, 13-year-old. So yes, highly, highly recommend you having a read of Always Angel. So I hope you enjoyed that run through of some of the books that are coming out in February, and I hope you're already buzzing with ideas of where you're going to sell these books and which of your customers will enjoy them. Bye.